I'm not a fan. Let's put it like that. From the standpoint of you can't have a breach and then say, well, we're just going to pay the fine and we're not going to admit whether or not we did or didn't.
This episode is made possible by OIT VoIP. Find your best-in-class revenue generation for MSPs all over the world. Learn more via the link in the show notes.
Good morning and welcome to the October 26th episode of MSP Dispatch, your source for news, community events, and commentary in the MSP channel. I'm Josh Hohbein, and I'm joined once again by my co-host, Don Sizer. How are you, Don?
I am doing fantastic, Josh. How are you?
Perfect. It is a fantastic day, and as is tradition, every other episode, I tell you guys what the national day is so you know what to celebrate. So it is National Chicken Fried Steak Day. So go out to your, I don't even know what would serve that, Cracker Barrels, and go enjoy a chicken fried steak. It is also National Pumpkin Day. And interestingly enough, National Trick or Treat Day, which falls on the last Saturday of October and not the actual Halloween, but also most importantly, National Make a Difference Day. And everyone can celebrate that. And we're going to make a difference here by letting you know some of the fun news stories that are out there. In my first news story, coming to us from TechCrunch, SEC fines 4 companies $7 million for misleading cyber disclosures regarding SolarWinds hack. The Securities and Exchange Commission fined 4 companies a total of $7 million for providing misleading disclosures related to the 2019 SolarWinds hack. The affected companies are Checkpoint, Mimecast, Unisys, and Avaya had downplayed the scope of their breaches. For instance, Checkpoint and Mimecast minimized the incidents in their reports, while Unisys framed the risks as hypothetical despite being impacted by 2 breaches. Additionally, Avaya failed to disclose the full extent of compromised data. However, all companies cooperated with the SEC investigations and agreed to pay the fines without admitting or denying the findings. So this is kind of sets an interesting precedent here. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm not a fan. Let's put it like that. From the standpoint of you can't have a breach and then say, well, we're just going to pay the fine and we're not going to admit whether or not we did or didn't, right? How many people did that affect? Did it affect people internally, externally? What did that look like for your company? Because if you're not telling people that their information was breached, you're doing them a disservice as much as anything else for the company itself.
The fine sounds it sounds harsh, but that $7 million is combined. But at that point, to your point too, it's not a fine; it's a cost of doing business, right? So clearly the cost of releasing the actual truth or going out could have been reputational harm, could have led to other things. I'm glad that there's disciplinary action, but I would like to see it harsher or better or something else other than just a really what boils down to a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I would like to see a remediation plan that goes along with that in some way, shape, or form, because I'm with you. It's the cost of doing business at that point.
It's good to see this stuff, but it's just going to, when it happens again, okay, well, here's another $1 million fine. So then it just becomes a line item on the accounting sheet where, this sucks,
Yep.
but it's a cost of doing business. So I'm 100% with you. Let's get some accountability, and how are we going to fix this going forward? It's not about who gets a security incident or breach, because it can happen to anybody, but what you do going forward definitely matters. In the meantime, I think you have a story about AI monitoring itself or moving forward.
Meta has released another AI model that can check other AI models. So now we have the robots checking the robots. So Reuters came out with a great story about how Meta has released a new set of AI models, including a self-taught evaluator, which is designed to review the work of other AI models. So this tool is using a chain of thought method, breaking complex problems into smaller steps to improve accuracy in fields like science, coding, and math. It's been trained solely on AI-generated data. That's going to be awesome. So it removes the need for human input in this stage. Meta researchers believe this could reduce the need for human feedback in AI development. While companies like Google and Anthropic have also explored similar ideas, Meta stands out by making its models publicly available, which others have generally avoided. So, Josh, what could possibly go wrong with, the robots
So
keeping the
I
robots?
I have a feeling in a couple months there's going to be another story that says, "Hey, somebody released an AI model that checks the AI model that checks AI models works." And then 3 months after that, we're just going to keep like stacking these AI checking models on top of each other until we just have a chain of AI models checking the works. We've seen so far with AI that it can do incredible things, but at the end of the day, there still has to be some sort of human like last check, because hallucination is a very real thing, or giving misinformation. If it makes that step easier, cool, but there still needs to be a human at the end of it, double checking or verifying it.
Yeah. I don't know if you have the same conversations with your clients and people that you deal with on the daily, but we always tell them like you have to have highly skilled workers or employees looking at AI and using AI. If you have somebody that isn't quite sure, they're not an expert in whatever they're dealing with, you're going to get, garbage in, garbage out. I think it just sounds like this horrific idea of bad things over bad things over bad things with disastrous results at the end.
What we do, to your point about when we're talking with the clients, as part of our cybersecurity awareness training package, there's also an AI training in there, and it shows you how to use AI securely. So what things to put in, what things not to put in, and things like that.
I mean, it took a human to give it decent data. It still didn't give the best output. And then having it check, well, that's what we got. So obviously that's right, but it's not. So
Hmm.
even having somebody give it good information, the AI checking it, I just don't see how that's going to function properly.
With how fast it's expanding, maybe in a year's time, we could be proven wrong. So there's only one
I
way to
hope.
find out. We'll wait for the future. But while you're waiting here, we have some great community events going on that you can attend or take part in. The next coming up is DatoCon 2024, an in-person event in Miami Beach, Florida. We have IT Nation Connect also happening in Orlando, Florida from November 6th to November 8th. And then November 11th through November 12th, another in-person event, Channel Pro Live in Los Angeles, California. And I know, Don, at the last episode, you'll be at IT Nation Connect, so definitely go say hi to Don. Go check out the MMN Discord, which is going to be posted below. So if you'd like to share any news stories that you have, you'd like us to bring them on the show, please do, so we can talk about them, as well as provide your feedback in the comments. So we'll read it on the show and definitely appreciate everything. Also, definitely check out the Tech Degenerates Discord. It is an absolute fantastic community, and I am already looking forward to the next happy hour. Those are some of the most fun you can have on a Thursday night. So, Don, anything you'd like to plug?
No, I can tell you the happy hour is the second Thursday of every month. So head over to the Tech Degenerates website and you can find that information there. That's it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining me. It was an absolute blast. And to everyone out there, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
If you found this episode eye-opening, catch more MSP Dispatch at 10 a.m. throughout the week. Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.